Trump orders nuclear testing amid high-stakes China talks. What it means for U.S. security and global trade. Washington, D.C. President Donald Trump returned to the White House this week after a 5-day trip to Asia, ending with a highly publicized 90-minute meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. While the administration had been focused on easing trade tensions and negotiating potential deals with Beijing, Trump made a shocking announcement moments before the summit. The United States would resume testing nuclear weapons. The news immediately reverberated across political, military, and diplomatic circles, raising questions about U.S. national security, nuclear proliferation, and international trade relations. Trump, posting on Truth Social, wrote, "I've instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately." Speaking later to reporters aboard Air Force One, he doubled down, emphasizing that the decision was not aimed at China, but was instead a response to other countries' nuclear programs. Vice President Vance clarified that testing would ensure the U.S. nuclear arsenal continues to function as intended, stressing national security concerns and highlighting ongoing diplomatic efforts to limit nuclear proliferation. The context: U.S. nuclear testing and global standards. The United States has not conducted an actual nuclear detonation since 1992, adhering to a self-imposed moratorium on underground testing. This move was part of a broader effort to promote global nuclear stability, including adherence to the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, CTBT, signed in 1996. China last tested a nuclear weapon in 1996, and Russia in 1990, with North Korea being a notable exception in the years since. Experts note that modern U.S. nuclear weapons are continuously monitored using highly sophisticated simulations and data from non-explosive tests. Greg Jaczko, former chair of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, explained that the Department of Energy invests billions annually to ensure the arsenal remains functional. The scientific consensus is clear. We don't need to detonate weapons to know they work, Jaczko said. Testing now could, in fact, provide strategic advantages to adversaries rather than the U.S., potentially escalating a new arms race. Courtney Cube, NBC News senior national security correspondent, added that Trump's statements might be interpreted as a reference to nuclear delivery systems rather than actual warhead detonations. Department of Defense tests focus on missile delivery, while the Department of Energy manages the warhead itself, Cube explained. The sudden timing of the announcement immediately before the Trump-Xi summit fueled speculation that it was part political signaling, part strategic posturing. Political implications: saber-rattling or policy shift. For critics, Trump's declaration reflects a pattern of high-profile, sometimes contradictory statements that leave policymakers and allies scrambling for clarity. Analysts suggest the move may be intended more as a message to the global community than as an immediate operational change. It's a form of strategic signaling, Jaczko observed. The U.S. is demonstrating its capabilities, but actual detonation would take years to prepare and carry significant environmental and diplomatic risks. The announcement also raises questions about the administration's broader approach to nuclear arms control. Historically, U.S. nuclear testing moratoria were designed to prevent proliferation and encourage other nations to refrain from testing. If the United States resumes testing, even partially, it could undermine decades of diplomatic progress and trigger a chain reaction among other nuclear powers, including Russia, China, India, and Pakistan. Critics argue that the nuclear testing announcement could overshadow the progress on trade and inject unnecessary tension into global relations. The potential ramifications for arms control agreements, environmental safety, and diplomatic trust are significant, particularly as the United States positions itself against a backdrop of evolving global security threats. Despite the nuclear controversy, Trump reported progress during his talks with Xi. While no formal trade deal was signed, the two leaders agreed on several key issues, signaling a potential truce in the ongoing U.S.-China trade war. Tariffs on Chinese goods will be reduced from a previously threatened 57% to 47%, and China has pledged to take stronger action against fentanyl production and exports, a major concern for U.S. law enforcement and public health authorities. Additionally, the discussions included the potential purchase of soybeans, a significant win for American farmers, and temporary reprieves on rare earth mineral export licensing, though long-term arrangements remain uncertain. Several contentious topics, including TikTok ownership and Taiwan, reportedly were not raised during the talks. Business analysts reacted cautiously. Christine Romans, NBC News senior business correspondent, noted, "This is a real de-escalation in what had been a highly volatile economic relationship. But the framework is still fragile, and many issues will need revisiting in the coming year." While the 47% tariff rate remains high, it reflects a compromise designed to pressure China while minimizing disruption to the U.S. economy. Trump's twin focus on nuclear testing and trade negotiations illustrates the complex balancing act facing U.S. policymakers. On one hand, maintaining the credibility and functionality of the nuclear arsenal is considered essential for national defense. On the other, the United States seeks to avoid reigniting a nuclear arms race while pursuing economic stability through careful negotiation with China. "The timing of these announcements is unusual," said Monica Alba, NBC White House correspondent. "You have nuclear signaling on one hand and trade de-escalation on the other. It's a delicate act of projecting strength while trying to keep dialogue productive." Critics argue that the nuclear testing announcement could overshadow the progress on trade and inject unnecessary tension into global relations. The potential ramifications for arms control agreements, environmental safety, and diplomatic trust are significant, particularly as the United States positions itself against a backdrop of evolving global security threats. Global reactions and future outlook. The international community is likely to monitor the situation closely. Experts warn that if the U.S. were to resume testing, other nations with nuclear capabilities could follow suit, undermining decades of non-proliferation efforts. Even if Trump's order does not immediately result in detonations, the mere signaling effect could influence global security dynamics. Analysts also note that trade negotiations remain at a critical juncture. While Trump's meetings with Xi indicate a willingness to compromise, unresolved issues such as rare earth minerals, TikTok ownership, and broader intellectual property protections will continue to shape the trajectory of U.S.-China economic relations. The temporary tariff reductions and soybean purchases represent short-term relief for U.S. industries, but deeper, structural agreements remain uncertain. As the global community watches, the next moves by the Trump administration, whether in nuclear policy or trade negotiation, will be closely scrutinized, potentially shaping both national security and international economic landscapes for years to come. President Trump's announcement to resume nuclear testing, coupled with tentative progress in U.S.-China trade talks, underscores a complex interplay of diplomacy, national security, and economic strategy. While the administration emphasizes the need to ensure the functionality of the U.S. nuclear arsenal, the international implications are far-reaching, raising concerns about proliferation, environmental risk, and geopolitical stability. At the same time, steps toward reducing tariffs and securing trade concessions reflect a cautious approach to de-escalating tensions with China, signaling that the administration is navigating a delicate balance between demonstrating strength and fostering economic engagement. As the global community watches, the next moves by the Trump administration, whether in nuclear policy or trade negotiation, will be closely scrutinized, potentially shaping both national security and international economic landscapes for years to come.